Hello, welcome. I have the amazing Rich, who's been raw vegan for pretty much eight years.
8 years.
8 years?
Yeah, 8 years.
Incredible.
Well, September will be 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's gone fast though, because I've known you about 2 or 3 years.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rich has done a juice cleanse, and he did how many days?
330 something.
330
Yeah.
days. Spent $9,000.
Yeah. that's when it was pretty cheap. So.
Wow.
Yeah. I'd hate to see what it would cost today.
Yeah. Oh gosh, much more. Yeah. So, but to do a juice cleanse that long, 8 years ago was it? Oh no, it was.
No, it was a couple years.
Couple of years
Yeah,
ago.
because I've been since then I've been 1 year raw.
Yeah.
And then the juice fast was a year.
But
so.
you've been on and off the raw journey 8 years. But you.
I mean, I started in 2016. I went for like 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And then I moved to over to Chicago where my family was at, and being around family, and Chicago's supposed to have some of the best food. I went a little off, but I say it was about 85% for like a year of that. And then I slowly started getting back into it before my juice fast because I wanted to be ready. So I was like 90% raw before the juice fast.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good going.
Yeah.
So the juice cleanse wasn't too
No,
hard.
it was a breeze. I wasn't too worried about it because I thought my system was good.
Yeah.
So I've been eating pretty healthy. I was vegetarian too. I was pescatarian for 8 years. Vegetarian for 8 years. Yeah. So it took me slowly. So I thought it would be easy, and it was.
Yeah.
It actually was.
Yeah. Awesome.
And then I've been doing the work for the the shadow work with Kyle Cease.
Oh, and that's how we met. Just before we move on, go into that. We're in LA right now, Glendale, for the Carl Cease event, which is actually finished. I've got an extra day because I've gone for VIP. But we've been all week at the Carl Cease event. Check him out. He's incredible. Transformational spiritual coach.
4 days.
4 full days.
8-hour days.
Yeah, full days. And it's absolutely, mind-blowing. Check his work out. It was called The Big One that we've just been to, and there's Kim DeMero, Aaron Apke, and even Laurie Ladd was here as well. So if you know those, then you'll know why we're so high vibing right now. And that's why I wanted to do this video, well, just to share our insights, but also to share Rich's story as well, because it's very inspiring. And the fact that how we connected as well in the raw movement, and the fact that we both are into Carl, working with Carl Cease as well, doing his work. Absolutely incredible. I think it takes you to next levels if you can really embody the raw lifestyle and this transformation in shadow integration, feeling our feelings, meditation, working in the now, your whole life, absolutely everything.
It really is so important to get all those three, the mindset and the dealing with the emotions, and then the juice fast is for the physical part.
Yeah.
And that's why I love what you do. You do it all.
Yeah. It's all important because that's what's going to get to the root cause of why we keep sabotaging, binge eating, keeping on our addictions, our cravings, and that's what I want to bring on to what you just before we shared all this was you were saying it was although a breeze or fairly easy, you had emotional attachments to food, didn't you? That was probably your trickiest.
Yeah, that was the hardest one.
Yeah.
Even before I started that one, it was always I could stay on eating raw or eating very healthy for long periods of time. But if something triggered me to go off, I would go off, 2 weeks, 2 months. It was hard. I still had those cravings, so I had to always fight those cravings. But when I was on raw food, it was easier to do it, But I still had those cravings. But after the juice fast, they all disappeared.
Juice fast?
Yeah.
It totally got, just cleaned out.
It totally cleaned me out.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't had, I'm telling you, one craving in over a year.
Yeah.
Which is, I would never
That's
thought.
empowering,
Yeah, because I used to eat boxes of junk food. My poor mom, she'd come home from the grocery store, and I would just 3 or 4 boxes I would finish,
Wow.
Whatever, cereal.
Yeah.
And so when you clean that microbiome out, and you start eating fresh and raw, that changes everything. And that was the final straw for me to really stay raw vegan with ease. Yeah.
That's great because if you are struggling and you are someone that is you know, keep going back and forth, then if you haven't done a juice cleanse, I highly recommend it. You don't have to necessarily go as long as Rich. I've done 40 days. That's 41 days has been my longest, and I've done 3. I believe I'd like to go longer, and I ultimately I would. And that was your first long?
That was my first juice fast ever.
Ever? That's incredible.
Yeah,
I don't know many doing that. Wow.
Well, I never planned to do that. I just planned to do the 40 days.
Yeah. Just
But
kept moving on.
the mucoid plaque just kept coming out and out. It was a release of mucoid plaque for 9 months straight.
Wow.
Every day, a foot
That's a bit like
to 2
Erwin.
feet.
Erwin's was the same, non-stop.
Yeah. I know.
Did you take pictures?
Yeah.
You do have them. Perhaps you could send me them.
Oh yeah. I've
Yeah.
got tons of pictures of that. My
Wow.
phone is all green because of that stuff.
Yeah.
So
Wow, so that keeps you motivated.
it did.
I see people that do that, stay on it and want to go longer because the amount that is coming
Right,
out.
and you know that stuff is coming out. You know,
Yeah.
toxins, all that crap is coming out. So it was hard for me to stop. I wouldn't have stopped. I didn't stop.
And the juices, what did you focus on?
Juices.
Yeah, what juices was they?
I did the typical lemon ginger blast for 3 quarts, and then I was doing the orange and the citrus ones, but I broke my hand during the juice fast, so I had one hand doing the juice fast,
Oh shoot!
and I couldn't peel the oranges.
Talk about commitment.
Yeah, so I couldn't peel the oranges, so I just stuck to the pineapple from after like a couple of months. I quit. It was just pineapples
Yeah.
for like
Simple.
10 months.
Wow. So mostly pineapple and some greens.
Yeah.
Every day lemon ginger blast or?
Yeah, every day,
Yeah,
3
okay.
quarts. And then I was drinking, I upped it to, also added 2 quarts of watermelon.
Watermelon.
Yeah,
So
so
how many quarts a day?
8 a day.
8 a day.
Mhm.
So what's that in litres? I think that's 4 or 5 litres, isn't it?
It was 2 gallons.
I
It was 2
suppose.
gallons.
Okay, 2 litres.
Yeah,
No,
I
2
think it's the
litres.
same thing.
2
It's like,
litres.
yeah, it's like 8.
I thought you'd have had a lot more than that.
It's like
Yeah, some
8
do.
liters. I think it's the same thing, right?
Yeah, I was thinking of. Oh, I'll double check.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same as quarts, I believe.
Yeah, gallons though. 2 litres. So
I had
quart.
I had 2 gallons.
Yeah, thought you might have had more. Let's check that.
It was a lot.
That's yeah.
Yeah. It was-
Okay, and you didn't ever did not once feel hungry? Maybe there was the odd, and because you're doing the work. This is the difference. When you
Exactly.
know what to expect, you're doing the work on yourself. You're satisfying yourself or self-soothing in healthier ways. You just have no need to do other non-serving habits.
Yeah, it's so true.
Comfort foods, and junk. So that was, easy to do when you were aware of it and you're doing the practice, doing in the work, and that I would say, but you're not immune to it, but you have tools or just that awareness and having the presence. And this is why meditation is crucial, and you did quite a bit of meditation through that journey.
Well, I did it before that. Yeah, definitely. During the juice fast, I was doing it going into the juice fast, but then it took so much time that I had to quit the meditation
Right.
because I was doing like 2 gallons a day. So I was just that's all I was doing basically.
Well, that's kind of a meditative practice if you in tune.
Right. Yeah,
Really
it can be. I mean,
can be.
it definitely helped.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's incredible.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
that for that length of time. Yeah, I forget the length of time you've done. Like it's
It was almost a year.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what made you stop?
We were going on vacation, and my wife asked me to, because it was Hawaii, and like all right, you've been could you stop? Because she asked me to stop many times during that,
Right.
and I'm like no, I'm gonna finish this until I'm done. And I was getting really skinny. I got down to 125 pounds.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and people were like,
From what? What was you?
I started at 175.
Wow.
So it was 50 pounds.
Yeah, and this is unlimited amounts of juices, and showing that it's not calories in, calories out. It's like it breaks down differently. Juices bypass the liver, and it's able to go directly into the cells and neutralize. It's so alkalize into the body, cleanse into the body, and that's why you chose citrus and the lemon ginger blast.
Right.
And to pull out the mucus, to get rid of that waste, and that's what we want, is the waste, the compacted waste that's in the GI tract, and the mucoid plaque and the biofilms that all come out from that is parasites, lots of things come out.
And I never weighed it, but it had to be at least 30 pounds.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, how much did you lose in total? So whatever you've lost is all of that compacted waste.
Yeah, and so like I said, people, were getting worried, but I I figured it would go down and it would stop at a certain point.
Yeah.
And it actually did. It stopped at 125. Then I was drinking the same amount of juices, and it started rising back up. So like 128.
Yeah.
And then that's when I actually quit. You know. And after I quit, stuff is still coming out like after 5 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's mental what comes out of us. Like, until you witness it or see others,
You won't believe it.
some people are so skeptical about it, but when you see it and experience it for yourself, and that's why go the distance. Do it one time if you can. Go the distance, get it out, and then see how easier it is. You know, it's gonna totally transform. I see so many people even doing the mini cleanses transform and just get this experience of this lightness and profound clarity and just wisdom. This wisdom, the downloads that come from it. And when you're doing the shadow work integration, or you're doing any of these forms of meditation, doing the healing, wound healing, childhood, small child, you know, and really working with small child, inner child, doing that work seems much deeper, much more in resonance and just easier to process. And it's just, it's powerful.
I mean, it's the quickest way to. The juice fast is the best. It covers so many. It helped me heal some self-worth issues and definitely money issues. But that was the first day.
And this isn't just physical, that's what I'm saying. This is emotional and blocks and barriers that you had, like the financial, the abundance,
So I know people say, well, you know, what if I don't get mucoid plaque? Even if you didn't get mucoid plaque out, there's so many other benefits that you're missing out on.
Yeah.
That's going to just totally transform your life.
Any others? You know what I found? Like, you forget to write it all down, and there's so much, like lots of other things, like certain like skin issues, or your hair's not going, you know, maybe you have dandruff, or there's lots of these things that you forget about because we know about the main stuff, especially for us, the emotional side. Some people it is physical, but what other areas, even just physically, did you experience? Obviously the weight loss. Yeah,
the weight loss. I mean, I really didn't have issues. One issue that I had was kind of weird. I had a lot of saliva. I don't know, there's a medical term for it. When I did the juice fast, it really dried up. Like there was no saliva. And now it got back, it's back a little bit, but it's not as bad as before.
Yeah,
it's normal actually now. But I was pretty healthy going into it, and I could eat pretty healthy. And now that it's over with, I eat really healthy. It was the same. You know, people were worried about saying taking that much, husk and clay, that it could be bad for you.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to see. I like doing that. I like testing to find out myself. And it didn't do no harm at all.
Yeah. Did you find it helped, assisted?
Yeah. Oh, it definitely assisted to take that stuff out.
Yeah.
And after the juice fast, I've been raw 100% for it's over a year now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. We just had an amazing raw vegan meal. If it's on the YouTube, I'll share what we've just had. It was delicious. But we eat very simply. You eat very simple in the terms of nuts, just mono meals, fruits and greens and salads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty simple. It's pretty and nuts. I was eating a lot of nuts after that. It was a little bit high fat. But I stopped that and lowered it down to get the fat down. So I like my macros at a, pretty even.
Yeah.
But
do you have more carbs then?
Yeah, I have like 64% carbs.
Yeah, okay.
And now I'm about 25% fat. I was eating like 35% fat, 40% fat.
Yeah.
And I've always been able to pack on weight, and it started coming on. And so people say you can't gain weight on a raw diet. You can.
Yeah. Depends on the tools. Not with my tools, you won't.
Right.
But as in, not when the tools you're using is satiety sensing. When you're in tune with your body, you can't put on weight.
No.
It's because you're back to a little bit of the binge eating.
Yeah.
And you can get overstimulated with these fats.
And I was on nothing but juice and no water or food for a year. So I went.
Got to be careful going back into eating, the raw foods again. Whole foods.
It right after the juice fast, they say you're supposed to go at least a quarter of the time that you in the juice fast.
It's a day for every week.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So I did almost 52 weeks, so I wasn't gonna.
Yeah.
I did in 12 days. I was eating 12 days. I was eating everything.
Yeah.
And a couple times I had a little ache.
Yeah.
A couple days, and that was it.
Yeah.
So in 12 days, I was fine.
Yeah, you push through it. And like, don't be frightened. Push through these uncomfortable. It's like some people when they come onto the raw, they eat the raw for the first time, they get some digestive issues. And it is about not always pushing through so aggressively, but you've got to understand that these foods are heavier, and just knock it back a little bit, like you say with the nuts, and just incorporate more of, because fibre is, a shock for some systems at first, a lot of this fibre, but over time your body adapts and cleans out. But the cleanest and quickest way is the juice cleanse. Well done.
Yeah.
And our insights for the event, just to give you, I can share 3 of mine, and if Rich wants to share 3 of his, is for me was this light that we have in all of us, that we have the opportunity to choose, and it sometimes can be a little tricky to embody because we are living around in a lot of victimhood. But to know that we have a choice in how we feel is so empowering and liberating, even no matter what we've gone through is the past. So that would be my first insight, was just like, we do have a choice. I know this, but to rehear it again and to have that reminder is powerful. And the second was really feeling our feelings and not suppressing. And this is why I don't use food to sedate. And it's what I teach is the really feeling everything, and it's okay to feel the sadness. It's okay to feel in victimhood. It's okay to have those any feelings that are uncomfortable, because actually when we allow and feel, that's when we can let go. It just evaporates and dissipates, like Carl C says, it starts to dissolve, and that's where you can start doing the clearing. It's clearing that process is when we add in the shame and the guilt on top of that, where we hold on and we have so much resistance. And I would say third, but there's so many insights, but I'm trying to really, I think more from
4 days.
4 days of, I'm unpacking so much.
4 different speakers.
I think the really one that hits me is the caterpillars and the, and I used to call them like the eagles and the, mainly the eagles, but these are like the caterpillars. Well, Laurie Ladd mentioned about, caterpillars, when they want to grow into their butterfly, they have these cells, these caterpillar cells. And there's so much resistance. When we want to change, these caterpillars are wanting to expand, they have resistance. It's a natural thing occurring that happens. And actually surrendering and letting go that this is the natural process, that these growth resistance is completely normal to spread our wings. And we have to go into these cocoons and rebirths and ego deaths regularly, because we're always, constricting because we've got this resistance. We're like, we're resisting and we're contracting, and then it's about surrender, letting go, and opening up and expanding into this beautiful butterfly, and knowing that some people will continue that resistance for a long, long time, maybe always, and stay the caterpillar, and that is totally fine. Or they might not even know about this resistance and they're happy, or that's all they want to continue to do, and that's fine. That's loving them for where they are. But it's butterflies, spread the wings, expand, and let that be. Let you shine your light. That was so much. But I would say there's my 3. What would you say is yours?
Yeah, and the crowd there was, I would say, it was amazing, and there was such different ages. I mean, some of the people, I was so proud, that some of them had never been there, anything like that before, and they were just going. One woman, she flew from where was it, Sydney?
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
You say Netherlands.
She flew from Sydney, and $10,000. It was just, she had a calling to do it, and she actually jumped and she did it. And her husband was mad at her and all that, but she still did it because she felt she needed to do it. And that was pretty amazing. And I think we get those callings, and we ignore them a lot of the times, but I'm starting to learn that you follow that calling, and it's going to be scary because you're stepping into the unknown, but it's always paid off for me every single time.
Right.
But I mean, like I said, it was there's so many things. I have to reiterate what you were saying, is that one of the things is perspective.
Yeah.
Like the way you look at things is so important. And what's that saying? If you want the way you look at things, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at will change. And I really believe that from the people that I've talked to, and all the speakers. And that's where it starts. It starts with how you look at things. And like you were saying, it comes down to allowance. That was allow everything that's coming up, and accept everything that's coming up, even the bad, even things that you think that are wrong, because it's all part of the divine. And that's like the first step, is to accept, and that was, with that, you can, just that step alone, you start accepting, things start being coming up and being released, and
because what you resist persists.
Right, and clarity starts coming to you.
Yeah.
And then the second point of that is, I think you said that too, is you allow, and then once you allow, then it's your choice. Now you're conscious. You have to choose how you want to go through the world. We all have free choice, and we need to use that. We just can't not take action, follow our callings like that one woman did. I think those are the most important, and then the perspective. It's just the way it literally changes your reality when you look at things in a positive light. So right there, that did it for me. All those things.
And the unknown as well. I mean, we could go on, we could unpack so much.
Yeah, I mean, my head's all. We just finished.
We just finished. Yeah, it's like it's mind blown. And I think I'll do another video on my lots of insights, maybe 10 or 20 insights, because there's so much. I've got so much notes as well, and I continue to write my notes when I go back home. I spend an hour in meditation, and then I write afterwards, and I've been doing that every day just to. Because sometimes although I can feel it, I forget. Not everything, but I want to make sure I'm going over the nuggets, the words of wisdom that cements. And I think when you go over it a few times, it really cements.
It really sinks in.
Yeah, and then relaying it to others reinforces it. So, but yeah, there'll be more, and I'm sure we'll have Rich back on as well. We're doing it online next time, because we're so lucky to have come here and to meet each other. We've known each other for a while and never met in person.
Yeah, it's so awesome to meet you. I mean, you're the real deal, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, you walk the talk.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I want to, I want growth. I want to expand. I want more than just this 3D reality. I want depth. I want, so much more. And the foods are the lower density. I think it's the foundation. I don't think I know it's the lower frequencies. I don't want to necessarily be in. It's okay if we do, and sometimes we need to self-soothe or just do it to remind ourselves. But ultimately, my goal was to not be in those frequencies and keep on going up in the elevator, as Carl C says. Keep rising. And I knew the foods were holding me back, and it is for most people. If you're using food as a crutch. You're using it for ways that are self-destructive, just like a drug, it's never going to allow you to expand. And the lighter foods, the higher frequency foods, these electromagnetic, they've got these light codes in them. It just makes sense to have these unbelievable natural raw living foods in your system to help you channel and clear the pathways for this new.
I mean, since it definitely takes my life to a whole new level. Yeah. I mean, I don't get depressed.
Yeah.
It's hard to get depressed when you're getting those that vitality in you.
Yeah. Nutrient dense. Yeah. High. Just packed full of these phytonutrients. Yeah. So, any parting ways that you want to share?
No, I'm just saying I would definitely do a juice fast if it's a calling for you. I think, I do anything out of probably desperation or inspiration. I think those are the best two ways, because you're going to complete it if you're doing it out of those. If you're just thinking about it, I would definitely, you can try it. It's nothing to hurt, but I would definitely work on eating, maybe raw till dinner or something like that, or go slow, But if you feel that calling, do it, definitely, for sure.
And I have a community to offer that if you want to, explore this path, or you want to get deeper, or you just want to have that accountability and support. Then there's my private. We do weekly calls, and you're part of that group and modules in there to support you. And it's ever expanding. So as I grow, the group's going to grow. So it's exciting. So if you want to be part of that and part of this, this unbelievable high frequency lifestyle, then get on it, check it out, and continue to on this sacred journey. So thank you for being here. What do we say at the end? We always go, We always end with the be, feel, stay, rolicious.
Okay.
You ready with it?
Yep.
Okay. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Be, feel, stay, rolicious. Oh, you do that. Ah!